Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, on behalf of your Denver-based podcast crew, we appreciate you joining us for the Friendly Vibes.
Coming to you live from TSS Hilltop, I am joined by a very funny man who I don't know anything about, but I know there's a wealth of under the water. This guy's an iceberg. Most of it's under the water. Let's dig in. Aaron Fleck is here. New Face finalist, stand-up comedian, hails from Colorado Springs. Thank you for being here, brother.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me. My first podcast. I'm excited.
I'm very surprised by that. You seem like someone that would be a great podcaster or podcast guest.
Yeah, well, you're the first one to ask me. So
let that be a lesson to you out there. Ask people things.
Right.
You were just telling us about the first Elway Super Bowl or the last Elway Super Bowl?
Yeah, Elway's last game. His second Super Bowl win in a row. Yep.
And you found yourself confined.
Yes, in juvenile. 16 years old in juvenile hall. I watched that game.
Oh, my God. And did you grow up in Colorado?
Yeah. Born in Denver. Went to Evergreen High School.
Damn.
Where, that's where Trey Parker graduated.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's my claim to fame. I tell everybody. Tell everybody I run into, anybody they ask what high school I went to, I think he graduated in like 94 or something. I graduated in 2000. So he had been gone for a while, but a lot of the teachers were still there while he was there. So they had a lot of stories. I guess he used to do the morning announcements. They'd let him do like a kind of a comedy skit type thing. So he's always just had that comedic bone in him, but yep. Yeah,
imagine them doing that in like the 2010s when we were in school, Chris, like giving any type of creative liberty to a student over the broadcast. No, not happening.
Right.
They knew better by then.
Yeah, have you been to the new Casa Bonita?
Dude, I have not yet.
It's cool.
Killer?
Well, they kept it the same. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's cool because I went there growing up. And of course, first thing I did, I walked in there, I talked to the bartender, I go, hey, I went to the same high school as Trey Parker.
Nice.
So I don't know if he's here, but I'd like,
Yeah, 2 drinks special, please.
Exactly.
Okay,
yeah,
so
it was cool.
Were you a mountain kid then?
Yeah. Well, no, I was kind of more of a city kid. I was raised by my mom, didn't know my dad. I grew up in Denver, and then my mom met my stepdad. That's when we moved up to Evergreen when I was like 10. But no, yeah, when I was growing up there, I didn't like the mountains. I wanted to be in the city. And then I lived, after I graduated, I lived off Colfax and Downing for like 7 years. I was in a band.
Wow.
We played like Herman's Hideaway. We played the Gothic.
That's the thick of it in the city. That's a real city boy location. Yeah.
It was KBPI used to do the best band in Denver. We made it into the top 16. And, but that didn't last because drugs and alcohol.
How old were you at that point?
That was like I was 23 to 27 probably.
What was the name of the band?
Can't Quite Get Right.
That's a great name. Right. Seems like you guys had the nail on the head there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So like I said, I wanted to be in the city, but then I moved to LA when I was 27. Like right after the band fell off, I moved to LA to try comedy. And then I was actually doing comedy for a little bit, and then I met my wife, got married. Started working in the oil field.
Whoa.
Yeah. So stopped comedy for, from 2012 till just about a year and a half ago is when I started back up.
Whoa, dude. Okay.
Yeah. So I was a city kid, but then where I'm going with this is once you get married and you have kids, you're no longer a city. A city kid's kind of like, not to everybody, but to a lot of people, single, no, it's easier. But then you get married, you're like, man, now I wish I lived back up in the mountains, right?
Right. So, you crave the peace or whatever that you're running from as a child, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, the cruel irony of the circle of life.
Right.
So did you grow up like camping with your mom, outdoorsy kind of stuff? Or
no, not really.
Stepdad wasn't that kind of a guy either?
Well, yeah, he hunted. I used to come home and he'd have like a deer hanging upside down in his garage. But for some reason, I never wanted to hunt.
I was going to say, you seem like the kind of person that would be drawn towards that.
No, yeah. How I look?
Yeah.
Like I'm into, my favorite movies are romance comedies.
Like Hallmark type.
Oh, dude. Notting Hill, Pretty Woman, Notebook.
Yeah.
Dude, I'll watch the whole thing by myself. Sometimes my wife's like, what do you do? You're just in here watching Notting Hill by yourself?
It's a wonderful film, babe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
raised by my mom, even the music. Whitney Houston, Celine Dion, Bette Midler.
Yes. So you don't look it, but you're a feeling man.
Exactly. How I look is not at all how I am, I guess,
Well, I get a little bit of that being so tall. People think I'm softy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
totally
like the Jolly Green Giant, just a big teddy bear.
Exactly. Wow. Yeah. Okay, so mom, strong influence in your life, clearly. Most important person. You have brothers and sisters? Or?
Yeah, I have a little brother.
Okay.
Yep. 2 years younger. He lives in St. Louis, actually. So.
Did you guys used to fight when you were kids?
Oh, like crazy. Oh, yeah. Yeah, but my mom, she was a hard ass, man. Like, one time we were riding in the car. I was sitting shotgun. My brother was behind me. We got into an argument. So then, I don't know, my brother got pissed. He laid back down in his seat and just started kicking me in the back of the head with his heels. So I turned back, grab his legs, hit him a couple times. Then right when I sit back down, my mom just catches me with a backhand right to the nose. I'm bleeding. Blood's running down my face, and here was my plan. I was like, I'm going to make her feel sorry for me. So I sat there, and I didn't clean the blood off. I just sat there the whole ride home with just blood running down my face. I was like, she's going to feel so bad that she did this to me. So then we get home. We walk in. She turns around, takes one look at me, and goes, why don't you feel sorry? Quit feeling sorry for yourself and go clean that blood off your face. I was like, damn, that backfired. I was hoping she was going to look and be like, oh, honey, I didn't realize I hurt you that bad. But yeah, it backfired on me. So my mom was a hard ass.
She was training you early. She's like, the world's going to hate you in the face, son, and you better be ready to just...
she had to. She's 5'2", 120 pounds, raising 2 boys, me and my brother. We're a couple just crazy guys, crazy brothers always getting into shit. So, you kind of have to when you're a single mother like that. You can't let your boy, especially raising 2 boys, you got to be a... tough
rise
woman.
To the occasion of that. Yeah, my God.
Exactly.
Oh. So you guys start causing trouble for her, like middle school, high school?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. My brother got expelled from Evergreen. He actually didn't even graduate. I barely graduated. I got lucky because they put me in special ed. So I really didn't have to do much.
How'd you end up in special ed?
I don't know. A lot of it was like anger problems, and
you were in the generation where the like behavioral issues weren't honed in on focusing on that yet, so they just lumped you in with
right. Well, then you get in there, there's not much homework, and at the time our football team was really good through 98 to 2000. We made it to the state championship. We had our picture on a cereal box in Evergreen. We were all in the papers and all that. So there was kind of like the football element too. Let's just put them in special ed, kind of scoot them through the
timeout. We used to have localized cereal boxes in this country.
Yeah, up in Evergreen. Yeah, they were called the Stars, and they were in the grocery store. You pick them up, and they had the whole football team. It was cool.
See, that's cool. I knew the like regional papers and small town publications were gone, but I didn't even know about the cereal boxes. That's sick.
Yeah, they had their own paper, the Canyon Courier, so we were always on the front page of that, and it was good times. We've been horrible ever since. Like, we had never lost to Conifer. We always blew out Conifer. That was that high school actually came out while I was in high school. I think my freshman years was their first year. So we were a huge rivalry, and we always just destroyed them. And I don't think we've beat them since I left. I think we beat them like 3 years in a row, and then since then we've just been shit.
Damn, dude. You got to get the NIL money in high school football.
Right, yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Get the donors.
Right.
Wow, dude. Okay, so your brother gets expelled. What kind of trouble you guys getting into? Like,
dude, so like I said, it just started like I was in Juvy when I was 16 years old. And,
how'd you get in Juvy when you're 16?
So this actually wasn't even my fault. I had gotten a drinking MIP, minor in possession. And, they mailed the court document for me to appear to court. They mailed it to the wrong address. So I never got it. So one day we're hanging out like behind the liquor store up in Evergreen, just, we were all 16, just hanging out in my car, and the cop just rolled up to see what the hell we were up to. We're just sitting there, asked to see our IDs, and then he saw I had a warrant out. So because I didn't show up to court because they sent it to the wrong address.
Wow.
Yeah, but I'd already been, my mom actually caught it. She saw that they mailed, so I think I got arrested on a Friday, so I was there through the weekend. So you couldn't see the judge till Monday. But when she showed the judge that they had mailed it to the wrong address, they let me go. But that was
I'd be so pissed, bro, at 16.
Dude, I'm telling you, stuff like that. Like, I've been to, like, I know you saw my bit. I've been to jail in Greeley, Denver, Aurora, Golden, Vail.
He's doing the circuit, folks.
Wyoming, Alaska. And then when I just couldn't, it seemed like every year I was in front of a judge just for, DUIs, before I turned 21, MIPs, fighting, just stupid crap. And, I don't know. I'm like a moth to a flame with the police officers, honestly. Like, when I was up, I went to UNC for a year, played football up there, but then got kicked off because I got in trouble. Had to go to jail. But it was like one of those things where we'd be at a party, there'd be 50 people there. I'd be the only one that got arrested for some reason.
Yeah. Okay.
It was just stuff like that. Like, I'm not a bad person, I just have bad luck with the...
You and 12 don't get along.
So, yeah, it started out in 16, and then, I got a bunch of MIPs before I even turned 21. And then my mom was a bad alcoholic, too. Real bad. So I was living with her once, and I was on my way home from work. I got arrested. So they didn't tow my car. They left it down the street at the 7-Eleven. So I called my mom and I'm like, hey, Mom, I just got arrested. Will you go pick up my truck? You got my spare keys. So the next morning she goes to pick it up and she's still drunk and driving to the liquor store. So the same cop that arrested me saw my truck go by. So he pulled my mom over and arrested her.
Oh, my God.
So while I was in the holding cell waiting to get processed, I see my mom walk in handcuffs. We're in the same goddamn jail at the same time.
For the same car. Like, what?
Right. Yeah. So that's just the kind of crap, So,
yeah.
So now that I've finally gotten sober, I've been sober over 20 months now. And that's kind of how long I've been doing comedy.
Wow.
So that's the only way I'm able to do comedy, because I take it to the, drugs and alcohol to the next level. If I was still drinking, it just wouldn't last, because I'd be going to the open mics, the shows, getting drunk, doing drug, so that was kind of how I'm able to do this comedy and stuff, is staying sober.
I'm recently sober myself.
Congrats.
Because I was like, man, I had to really kept fucking up in ways that were of varying degrees, but I had to come to the head of like, what is alcohol bringing my life? And it was like, oh, it's not bringing any positive thing into my, like, I can't even I'm a good arguer. I can't make a case for alcohol.
Exactly.
So I had to be like, well, shoot, like this, you got to stop, because you have all these other good things and you're going to destroy all these other good things.
Exactly. Yeah. You stay sober, and then every day you're just ready to go. You're never waking up hungover. You're never wondering how much money you spent last night, not risking getting a DUI. Some people can maintain it and do it in moderation, but if you realize that it kind of just, it
that
holds
was my
you
trouble
back.
too, Aaron, is I could do it in moderate. Like, I could not get blacked out and not get fucked up and do it in moderation. But I was like, it was this Arkham's razor of like, oh, you're gonna fuck up more things as you try to think that you can balance this.
Right.
And alcohol, it was just like, I'm not a super godly person, but like, it was showing me sin. Like the spirits thing of alcohol was like, there was a dark spirit that was coming in and coming out of me because I was drinking. I was like, dude, stop. That's not you. You don't want to be that. So
exactly.
Stop it.
Yeah. It gives you overconfidence. Like when you're too drunk, you think you can drive. Give me my keys, I can drive. You think, like, as opposed to marijuana, it like kind of brings you back where you're like, no, I can't drive right now. There's no way. If I get pulled over, how am I going to even talk to the cop? When you're drunk, you have this false confidence.
Yes.
Like you said, it's just.
Well, good for you, man.
Yeah. Yeah. You too. How long you got?
I've since May. I drank at my wedding a little bit, but just like a couple drinks. So yeah, since May.
Nice. But, yeah. It's, and like you said, you feel better.
And it was one of those, like
sleep.
I said, moderate drinker, but even then it's like, I am losing a few pounds a little bit. It's like, oh, it's just a good thing.
Right. Yeah. And for me, like all the times I got arrested, I never got arrested for walking the dog sober. You know what I mean? It was always under the influence of alcohol, under the influence of cocaine.
Like the spirits thing, like maybe the 12 cops were drawn to this like dark energy that it was bringing. Yeah. Well,
and the bad luck factor too. So I hadn't been in trouble for so long. I'd already been married for like 7 years. I've been married 12 years now, but I think this was 7 years into my marriage. I was working at on the oil rigs up in Wyoming while I was living in LA.
Whoa.
So I get off my hitch. You did 14-day hitches. And then I'm driving back to LA and I'm on the phone with my wife. And then I'm speeding. So I'm getting pulled over. So I'm like, hey, honey, I'm getting pulled over. I'm speeding. I'll call you in a minute. Cop comes up, asks for my license and registration, goes back, and then he's running my stuff. And you always know when you're in trouble when another cop car comes up while they're checking your license. Because if you're kind of a bigger guy, like, 6 foot, maybe over 200 pounds, and the cop knows he needs to arrest you, he's not going to want to do that by himself, just in case I want to resist. So anytime you see backup coming in, then you see it in your review, you're like, son of a bitch, dude, something's going on, because I didn't know. Turns out, I had a warrant out for my arrest since I was 19 years old. And at this time, I'm like 37.
How is that not statute of limitations?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So the warrant was because I had gone to court, done all the things. Back in the day, they made you do MAD classes, Moms Against Drunk Driving. I had done all the classes but one class. I was one class short, so I'd had this warrant out for my arrest for like 20 plus years.
Whoa.
So I went to jail for that.
What?
That was my kind of luck.
Yeah, seriously.
And then my wife's freaking out because the last time she heard from me was, hey, I'm getting pulled over. I'll call you back.
Yeah.
And then she just never got a call back.
Yeah. Whoa.
So I'm in jail. So she's trying to track, she's assuming I got arrested. And then, of course, she doesn't know why I got arrested. She think in the back of her mind, she thinks I'm drunk or on drugs. So I'm talking to her. I finally get a hold of her when I get into jail, and she's just pissed, yelling at me, and not realizing that it was for a warrant. But yeah, that was my kind of luck. And again, it all stemmed from alcohol.
Right.
That was from one of the MIPs I got when I was 19. But so it's nice to be sober.
Damn, 20 months. That's awesome. You're back into comedy, loving it.
Oh,
killing
yes.
it. Crushing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I had a show in Pueblo last night. And then I have a show in Denver Friday, and I get to do Loonies, which I've wanted to do for a while. That's in November.
Epic.
Sometime in October, I'm doing the Bug Theater, and Ben Roy's on the ticket, which I'm really excited about because he's one of my favorite comedians.
He's also the nicest dude.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, I've met him once, and yeah, he's one of my faves, man. So I'm excited for that one.
That's a great venue too, the Bug Theater.
Oh, it is. It is.
So
yeah.
Cool. It's like 100, 150 seats.
Oh, yeah.
Tight.
Yeah. Perfect
for comedy.
theater. Yeah. It's, I've done that one before, and it is. So yeah, it's exciting, man.
So how old were you when you first started? When you made that, you were what, 20?
Oh yeah. When I first did an open mic,
yeah,
I was 29.
So you had moved from Colorado to LA.
Yeah, I was in LA. I was just I was working as a doorman at a couple British pubs in Santa Monica. I was going to some auditions, I was an extra in an Old Navy commercial where the Backstreet Boys were in it. So I met all the Backstreet Boys. That was really cool.
That's sweet.
And yeah, and then and also I've always wanted to do comedy, so I started doing some open mics, and it was going pretty well. I was getting laughs and all that, and then but then again I was drinking. So it wasn't 100%. It was kind of like when I'm drinking, it's going to be 50%. It's not going to, and if you want to make it in comedy, you got to be dialed in. And, so, so I was doing open mics in Santa Monica while drinking and doing drugs and stuff. But then I met my wife, and we got married in like 3 months after I met her.
Where'd you guys meet?
I was a doorman at a club, and she worked at Fred Siegel, which is a pretty famous hair salon in Santa Monica. And where I was working, that was kind of where they all went to have drinks after work. So she walked in, we met, we started. Yeah, it happened quick. I was moved in with her in like 2 weeks.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So you guys just knew you were for each other?
Yeah. I was, and at the time, I was just working a doorman, sleeping on a buddy's couch. I maybe had $60 in my bank account.
Let this be a lesson, gentlemen, that if you buy into love when it comes into your life, that it doesn't matter what stage you're at.
Exactly. Yeah. I could tell, that she was a good person. She had had a nasty split with her ex and had a little 3.5-year-old son who's now my stepson. He's now almost 17.
Whoa.
Great. Yeah. So I just knew she was a really good girl. So I was moved in with her in like 2 weeks. I didn't even have any money. We got married in 3 months. She paid for the wedding. We got married in Vegas at the Little White Wedding Chapel. The wedding was like $250. But it was just funny, what my friends were there, and they one of my friends leaned into whisper in my ear. He's like, "Hey, Aaron," he's like, "at least she's not with you just for your money." 'Cause I didn't have any money. So then I did a open mic a couple times after we were married, and then it got to the point where I had to get a job, so that's when I started working in the oil field.
Wow.
Yeah, while I was living in LA. So that was wild because I had a connect. I
was gonna say, how do you end up going from an extra in an Old Navy commercial with the Backstreet Boys to let me be a
roughneck.
A roughneck.
Yeah, on the drilling rigs.
What?
Yeah. So I had known a guy in Wyoming that worked for this huge company, Patterson UTI Drilling, and I needed to make some good money quick. And the oil field, they start you off at like $100,000 a year. Because it's hard work. It's 14 days on, 14 days straight, 12-hour days, and then you get 14 days off, which is really cool. So he got me a job on the rig. So it was funny. So I'm living in LA. I'm driving a Honda Civic with California plates. I drive all the way out to the rig in Wyoming. I get there, and all those guys, dude, they all grew up in Idaho, Wyoming, Montana. They grew up raising their own cows and eating their own beef, and they all drive these pickup trucks and shit. I roll in my Honda Civic, and they're wondering like, where did you come from?
Seriously.
So my nickname was Fruit. That's what they called me for 7 years.
That's too funny.
Because of the California thing. They're looking at my California plate, and they're like, California? You live in California? I go, yeah. They go, what are you doing out here? I was like, well, I know a guy. And they're like, California, there's nothing out there but fruits and nuts. So my nickname was, so I just embraced it.
Yeah.
They call me Fruit in the safety meetings and shit. There wasn't like just the lower totem pole guys. Like it was all the way up to the rig manager.
Yeah.
We'd be in the safety meetings going over the hazards of the day, figuring out how we're going to mitigate the hazards. And they would just turn to me and be like, Fruit, you got anything?
Dude. Real Americans right there.
Right.
You're the only guy without a dually in the parking lot. So.
Oh, exactly, dude. And then I moved back to Colorado, and I was kind of excited. I was like, okay, now they can't call me Fruit anymore because I don't live in California. So I moved to Colorado. I get my Colorado plates, and then I drive back up to the rigs, and I'm like, the rig manager, the big boss man, the guy that worked for the gas companies, he was a big Mexican dude named Donaldo. And I roll up and I'm like, what's up, man? He's like, oh, hey, Fruit, what's up? I was like, hey, just to let you know, dude, my nickname's no longer Fruit because I don't live in California. And he's like, where'd you move to? I'm like, I moved to Colorado. And he goes, so you went from being a fruitcake to a tree hugger? I'm like, son of a bitch, I got it. But yeah, those guys out there, those roughnecks there.
If you're not out in the country, you're not doing things right to those people.
Dude, those dudes, yeah. But
thank God for those people, right? Because let me just take an aside to thank you, because our country could not happen without the truckers and the roughnecks and those guys that are doing the jobs that nobody else wants to do.
Dude, the work is so crazy. You wouldn't believe the turnover rate. They'd bring in, I'd be training a new guy every couple weeks, and it was almost getting exhausting because they wouldn't last.
Well, and that's got to be frustrating and also terrifying for you.
Yes.
Of like, holy fuck, we're working with these super dangerous, huge materials and equipment, and this dude's first day on the job was 2 days ago.
Right. Dude, and it's a different kind of work, man. It's 12 straight hours, and the rigs, they run 24/7, 365. They never stop turning.
Because if they don't go, that's profit.
Yeah. Well, right? Yeah. So
every minute, it's like manufacturing where they have to keep everything going all the time.
Right. Yeah. It's so I worked for the drilling company, which was Patterson, and they basically, like the big gas companies like BP, Shell. Ultra was where I was working. They were called Ultra. They hire the drilling company to drill them holes, and the fee that they pay the drilling company is like $30,000 a day.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's what they're paying. But then once the hole's drilled, cased, cemented, then now they own that well, and then it starts producing gas, and then that's how they.
Speaking of producing gas, folks, we got to flip these fire chicken wings that are on the smoker. We'll be right back. Have you listened to radio before in your life, Aaron?
Yes.
We're going to kick us to break with our signature station identification. You're listening to 91.1. Oh shit, was that another plane? We'll be right back. We're back. We're live. The chicken's looking good, folks. And big expectations. This man's clearly eaten some wings in his life before.
Yes. But believe it or not, like I said, remember we talked earlier about how I don't look how I am? I'm not much of a steak guy. Like I take a quinoa bowl, like salad bowl.
Shut up.
Over a steak. Dude, I don't know what it is. Like my number one meal, probably a poke bowl.
Yeah, I was going to go. I was rattling off a Kai jokes in my head.
Yeah. Steak, it's like too much work, dude. You got to cut the piece. You got to, it takes you forever. Depending on how it cooked, it takes a while to chew it up. And yeah, but I prefer chicken over steak. I'm not much of a steak guy, but yeah, that's weird.
That's hilarious. So we were talking about just, as we're flipping the wings, like the type of workout on the Roughneck fields of 14 days on, completely locked in type dudes where they're speeding up or whatever it takes to get through those 14 days.
Yes.
Whew,
yes.
Man.
Yeah.
And the burnout, like you gotta. Are there guys that do that their whole careers, like 40 years?
Yeah, well, if you have half a brain, you'll move up and eventually be a rig manager, and then maybe the ultimate goal is to be a company man. The company man works for the gas company, and it's their job. That well is their job, so they do have a lot of responsibility, but they're mainly just sitting in they're on location, but they're in their own office. And they're kind of just watching the pressures, making sure we're not going to take a hit, and just making sure everything's going smooth. But those guys get paid like they make $2,200 a day.
Whoa!
Yeah, once you get up to that, so that's the ultimate goal. But so a lot of the roughnecking part, that's usually not a whole career thing because your body wouldn't last. But the ones that, like I said, have half a brain and can.
They work their way up.
Yes.
To become the foreman and watch all the hardworking people turn over.
But it is rough work. Like, I don't know if you know how it starts, the completion of the well. You drill
talk about it? Talk about it a little bit.
Yeah,
for someone that, pretend we're talking to like someone that is completely layperson, they don't know.
Yeah, okay. So you start off, you drill the surface well, which you'll drill down like 2,200 feet or something with a big, 13-inch bit. You'll drill that section, pull the pipe out, and then run, 3 to 12-inch casing down. And now you have that first section case. That's usually where no gas is. So it's kind of like your starting point. And then once you drop the casing down, you pump cement down through the inside of the casing outside the wellbore, and it cements the outside. And that's your first section.
So there's a whole cement ring, like cylinder, going down 2,200 feet into the ground.
Yeah. Just the casing. That's just the surface. That's like the easy. It goes quick. The ground isn't that hard. You drill through it. But then once you start going deeper, then it starts slowing down. Like up in Pinedale, Wyoming, where I was, the surface, the ground was so hard. I mean, sometimes we drill like 5 feet in 12 hours. Just, but they're trying to get down to that gas pocket. Where the money is. So once you drill the surface casing, then you drop down, then you go down to like 13,000 feet straight down. And then they started doing horizontals where they'd go 13,000 feet down into where the gas is. And then they would start going horizontal. Into it. Yeah.
How do they make that turn?
Dude, directional drill bits with pressures. They got the drill bit going like this, and they can shoot pressures down at it and just slightly.
Whoa.
Yeah, they're called directional drillers. That's also a pretty easy job, and they make a shit ton of money too, but you gotta.
So it's like a drone drill?
Yeah, well, it's manipulated through pressures.
Okay.
Because you're pumping drilling fluid down the pipe out the end of the bit.
So depending on how you angle the hydraulic fluid on the driller.
Yeah, you can turn. They got all the. I don't know. I was never a driller. I made it up to like derrick hand. They have a floor hand, a motor hand, a derrick hand, and then a driller. That's your crew. It's like a 6-man crew. The floor hands are the 2 grunts. They're like glorified janitors. That's how you start out. You're up there, you're doing all the hard work on the rig floor, and then when you're not doing anything drilling, like when we're just slow drilling, hanging out, you're cleaning. You're off cleaning. The motor man is running the forklift, loading all the stuff that you need, and going around fixing the equipment, whatever needs fixed, and maintaining, just checking the oils, checking pressures and things like that. And then you got the derrick hand who manages the mud, the drilling fluid, because that's basically.
Who is this famous derrick guy that got his name, this position named after him?
Well, yeah. It's because you're on a derrick.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yep. But yeah, so he manages the mud, and that the weight of the mud, it's called the drilling fluid. That's basically what's going to hold the gas down too, because you're pumping down through the pipe, through the drill bit, and then that mud is coming up outside of the hole, and going back into the pits and then through the pumps. And it's basically just going in one big circle.
I didn't even really put that together.
And that's how you monitor it. It starts in the pits. It goes through the pumps, up, down the drill pipe, out the bit, back up the hole, back in, down the flow line, back into your pits.
So
you're using the same mud.
Full system.
Yes.
Loop.
Yes.
Wow.
And that's how you can tell if gas starts coming at you. Because sometimes if the mud's too light, on the outside of the drill pipe, basically the well bore, the gas will start pushing mud back out towards you. So if you're in your pits and you have like 500 barrels, and then all of a sudden you have 550, and then all of a sudden you have 600, like you're gaining mud, that means you have gas coming at you. So you can almost see the kick, which blows up rigs. You can kind of, that's a sign that you need to shut down. We have a big BOP, which is a blowout preventer that the drill pipe goes through. They have these big rams that can close around the pipe and just stop the gas. Because once gas gets through, that's when people die. The rig
done though, yeah.
Yeah, so that's how you can monitor it with you start
with the
off
mud
with,
flow through the whole
exactly.
system.
You start off with 500 barrels, and if you can maintain that 500, so
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's super there's a lot to it, but it is kind of simple. Once you grasp it, it's
so the closed loop system holds the gas within this system, and then we can extract it through the drill.
Yeah, well, no. Once you drill all the way down, when you're done, then you pull all the pipe out. So that's called tripping out of the hole.
Okay.
And that's when that could take 12 hours. Because if you're like 13,000, 15,000 foot deep, and you're done drilling it, now you have to pull 15,000 foot worth of pipe out of the ground, and they come out in 90-foot sections.
Whoa.
So you pull up 90 foot, you unscrew, you rack it back, pull up a 90 foot, it takes a full 12 hours to pull out, that much drill pipe. And like you said, the rig never stops. So that's why it's hard too. You show up to work, if you're tripping, you're in that spot for 12 straight hours. No like, hey, we need to take a break. Stuff like so. That's why the work is rough too. But
so you find the mine, you drill down,
you're in the gas,
pipe back out. You've got your gas.
You pull it out. Yeah, now it's an open hole. I mean, you got your surface casing set. Now it's an open hole, and now you start running casing, which is going to stay in the ground. You start running it down, running it all the way till it's all done, and then you pump cement down. The only way you can get the cement on the outside of the casing is through the inside of the casing. That goes out. You calculate exactly how much cement it's going to take to fill that column in between the casing and the hole. So you pump it down through the casing, it comes out on the outside. You let that cement set up, and once that's set up, you cap it with a wellhead, and then you're good to go. So once you leave that cement, that's what's basically your well control. That's what's holding the gas down there.
Is just a full cement.
Yeah, you got your casing and then your well cap on top of the casing, which the gas is going to come through the casing. But the only thing stopping the gas from coming through the outside is that cement. That's why cement jobs are so important.
Wow.
Because a botched cement job, that the gas is seeped out around the casing, and next thing you know, it's just coming out. You'll create a sinkhole. It's a whole mess of shit.
That's we were from the generation of they were up in arms about fracking because of the disturbances to the earth and the thing. And I guess it makes sense to some extent based on just the natural engineering process of what it takes to get natural gas and oil out of the ground.
Yeah, well, in the fracking, you're using a lot less resources because you drill that one hole, that horizontal, right? Now you're in this gas pocket. Back in the day, they would have to drill a hole, and that was it. Then drill another, then drill another. But with fracking, you drill one, and then you perf the casing into and then it allows gas to come in from all around, not just that one hole. Oh. Now you're bringing in gas. You perf it, and then the gas starts to seep through into that hole. So it's
That's a good way to think of it. So there's 3 pockets before you would drill down and over, down and over, down and over.
Yeah.
Now we can frack down and get all 3 of these pockets to come into one casing.
Exactly. Okay. You can just get, Wow. And they perf it way. I don't know I know sometimes they've perfed into like a water,
for sure.
Which has caused environmental problems, but I know where I was at, it was down 13,000 where you're not running into anything.
Right.
When you're 13,000 feet down in.
Wow. So then just, this is super ignorant, but on the surface then of the natural gas location where you've already got it welled and tapped, how do you, they just pump it out of there into containments?
Oh, yeah. So once you're in the gas and you're ready to start putting it online, getting gas out.
Yeah.
So that gas will come out through the casing. and then they'll have a wellhead on it to control the pressures to where, they just hook up and then they just start sending it to, and then they send it to a refinery where it gets turned into.
Oh, interesting. So there's a whole nother step of refining it.
Yeah.
Yep. Wow. Yep. Do they go straight from the location and they pipe to the refinery?
I think so. I don't know a whole lot about the production side, but something like that.
Wow.
And I guarantee you,
and this is also I can drive a car.
No, I'm still friends. I'm still friends with a lot of my oil field guys. They're gonna watch this podcast and go, "This dude doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about."
Wrong. Please, you know what? Hey, oil guys, we're desperate for engagement. Get in the comments and tell us how completely ignorant we are.
Tell Aaron. Is that Fruit trying to explain how you drill a hole and then extract gas?
Who's this ladybug on the left? Get this guy out of here.
Yeah, but I think I was pretty on point with what I was explaining. You got the general idea.
For you to get the general idea across to a stupid guy like me, you're doing a pretty good job. That is interesting. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you got it pulled up right there. Yeah, there you go.
Interesting.
I didn't realize what's going on.
Yeah, thank you, ChatGPT.
Yes,
Good for diagrams. I mean,
Dude, it made these diagrams.
Yeah, sure.
It said it did.
It said it did.
Dude, the shit people can do, like those offshore rigs, they set up in the ocean and then they go put a BOP on the ocean. Dude.
So tell me, can we just talk about that? Because how does that feat of engineering work?
Dude, hey, if
the ocean is so scary, man.
Yeah, if human beings can figure out a way to make a shit ton of money, they will figure out how to do it.
See, this is funny because I believe in offshore drilling without a doubt because of the money aspect.
Right.
I don't know about the moon landing because where's the money?
there you go.
If they're like, we found natural gas on the moon, I'm like, yeah, we've been to the moon.
No, yeah. Did you see the meme?
It seems just as crazy to me that you would have an offshore oil rig and go into the that's just as ludicrous.
That's because that's a lot of oil is below the ocean, so it's like that's where the money pocket is, and they figured out how to do it. And it's wild, man. But you ever back to the moon, if there's no money in the moon landing, right? Did you see the meme where it's like, oh, we found out there's oil on Mars, so now Mars needs freedom?
Yeah.
Exactly. There's oil.
Exactly. Liberate Mars.
Yeah, exactly. Did you ever see that, the whole conspiracy theory with the moon landing with the Stanley Kubrick?
That's,
The Shining? How he kind of left the...
My
dad's
was cool. A pilot, and I've been telling people it's like my new thing to mess with him is to be like, we haven't been to the moon, because he sees the curvature of the Earth and so it's like a tangential flat earther type thing of like, well, the shot. Have you seen the footage, Dad? It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, I've seen the clips.
Even to the end, Buzz Aldrin got asked in public about this a lot, and he never really, even to the end, never really answered the question, and didn't like getting asked about it and stuff.
Right.
So
and the only argument, a pretty good argument to where we did land on the moon was you'd have to have all these governments kind of working with not blowing the whistle. Right, like Russia would have to be like.
You'd have to have what, like a UN and NATO and
there you go. You'd have to have deep state behind the scenes people, that are
interest aligned and financial institutions and wow, that would be a lot. You're right, Aaron.
What are the clues that Stanley Kubrick laid out in The Shining? He left clues that he directed the moon landing.
That's a great. I don't know about.
There's there's a lot of crazy clues in The Shining.
Whoa.
That he laid out, showing that he directed and produced the moon landing. Well, he was the director of the fake moon landing.
Well, and then they got him. He died right after was he the Eyes Wide Shut guy?
He was The Shining. Yeah, I think Eyes Wide Shut.
Okay, in one of the film's most talked about scenes, Danny wears a knitted sweater with a rocket labeled Apollo 11 USA.
No, but then there's cooler stuff.
In Stephen King's novel, room 217, change the room to 237, the average distance from the Earth to the moon. Yeah, okay.
There you go.
That's fun.
And then there's the carpet.
The hexagonal carpet design in the Overlook Hotel's corridor is said to resemble the layout of NASA's launch pad.
It does resemble it. It's not said to resemble it.
Yeah, we're going to we'll upgrade to Grok in a few months here, and we'll get all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy is interpreted as a metaphor for Kubrick's painstaking secret NASA work.
I don't know about that one.
That's a reach.
Yeah, I like this. A11, Apollo 11 is hidden in the phrase all. Okay, come on now.
Now you're just reaching.
No, I mean, yeah, he was a great like top tier thinker director. So,
but I mean, the weird thing is why haven't we been back? You know, so
yeah,
money. But I mean, come on.
And then you see India's moon landing, and you're like, okay. Have you seen the video of India's
private companies in America land? No one talks about that.
Huh?
Two?
Really?
Who?
Yeah, not with people.
Right. Yeah, they send people.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, why they sent Katy Perry and everybody. Why don't they just keep going all the way to the moon? You know,
maybe
real
that
astronauts.
Maybe that is like a good. If I actually like challenge myself on this, is like actually no, there were financial. Oh. Camera. Maybe the financial like interests of the moon was like way bigger than I'm giving it credit for, because like we're in the Cold War, post World War, like us getting to the moon, whether getting there or not, for that to be internationally recognized, we put a man on the moon. That is like finding the biggest oil well of power.
Yeah, well,
like
and it gives the country spirit. Like we're America, you know.
There's a lot of soft power that's basically priceless in that.
Yeah, they're like, we need something good for the country. That was like, you know, sort of like when the emperors of Rome would, you know, they'd realize like, we need a pick-me-up. Let's have a gladiator battle, you know, just to bring the masses together, and kind of like the moon landing, you know, we need an uplifting.
So I'll go down to North Africa and give me some tigers. We need to uplift the people.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Got to satisfy the people and get them.
How crazy is it that they would flood the Colosseum and do like ship games? In there?
So I didn't know they actually did that. I didn't really enjoy Gladiator 2 just because it was too. I don't know. It just didn't seem real, and like the two bad guys were just overly like out of their minds, and then flooding the Colosseum. Maybe did they do that?
They. I mean, I've been there, and they say that they did that.
Yeah.
I mean, and I guess some of like the what is this?
It's a lot of work to.
What will bring America together? What will it take?
Fake moon landing.
A good war or a moon landing?
World War II.
Right.
Okay, that's the first one it says, I guess. I mean, we're working on the good war theory. They're really doing overtime work on the... You'd think they were roughnecks the way they're working on World War III.
Right.
These politicians, they really want that to happen. All sides.
Bring us out of a recession. The good old war.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah. Golly. That's not the route I'd wish for us to take. Let's do another fake thing. Let's go to like Saturn. Hey, we put a man on Saturn. People are like, that doesn't make any sense at all. We're like, we did it.
No. Figure out who directed that one. No, we landed on Saturn. Totally. Yeah.
It's a gas giant.
Yeah, look, here's the video.
Yeah. Here's our DEI lady director that did that. Hey, don't question it. A black gay woman directed this.
Yeah, that's how you get people not to question it. Yeah. Oh, you don't think we landed on Saturn? That's because you're racist.
You bigot. We went to Saturn. Yeah, good point. The playbook. Everyone can use it. Wow, dude. Okay, so how did your time at the oil fields like come to an end? Natural gas and all that. 2020.
Pandemic. It crashed. They laid off everybody. No, dude, I had actually gotten fired before that. Yeah, I got fired. Yeah, because they're so gung-ho with safety. Well, here's what's kind of messed up too. So they were expecting layoffs. So when they're expecting mass layoffs, they can see it coming. They'll go around and look for reasons to fire people. You know, you can
because then they don't have to pay you,
dude. Kind of like if you want to find dirt on a guy. Like if I had power and I wanted to bring you under indictment, I'd be able to find something to bring. You know.
Oh yeah.
So it's kind of like that. They would send safety guys out and just because you can. I mean, it was a fireable offense to be if you were over 4 foot off the ground and you weren't 100% tied off, fired. You know, that's like standing on that table. So we were rigging down and I jumped up on top of this piece of equipment that was like 4.5 foot in the air and I wasn't tied off. And the safety guy just happened to be standing there, took a picture of me, fired.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And people were pissed, man, because it was like, I mean, granted, I needed to be tied off, but whatever. So anyway, so shortly after that, the pandemic, they all shut down anyway. And then I opened up my landscape business.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
You've been doing that since?
Yeah. Yep. That's what took an end to it.
Damn, dude. How do you like landscaping compared to being a roughneck?
Oh, well, I like the landscaping aspect too because I own I own the business. I still haven't hired anybody, so it's not like I'm like this boss guy that has a bunch of workers. I have to go do all the work.
That's a flip perspective. I hate this. That is what we like have is the discourse around like no. small business people like that hire between 5 and 15 people in this country, like they're grinding to provide like lives for other people. They create so much downflow value. Yes, Amazon and these big corporations, they don't care about the small people. Dude, small companies make it so that people can have families in this country. Yeah,
that's
like,
a lot of
when
America.
you do hire someone, you're going to have so much pride in that.
Right. So I'm waiting I got to get more jobs booked out too, because once you hire people, that's where most of your money's going.
Totally.
Like right now, I'm able to make, an okay living because I'm just paying myself. But once you hire, I mean, that's just one guy, one guy, you're looking at $3,000 a month minimum.
Yeah. So you got to have the work for them, and then hopefully they're bringing in more work. Yeah.
So the landscape thing's going good, and it's nice too because, like I said, I own the business. So if I did a show in Nebraska last week, and I was able to just go. I don't need permission, so it'll help with my stand-up career as well.
Absolutely.
Too. Yeah. I want to move out to Austin. Obviously.
Love that.
I got kids in school, so don't want to pull them out of school. So
how many more years of that?
Well, I got I got a junior.
Okay.
So he's going to graduate soon. So I don't know. And then I have an 11-year-old that's only in 5th grade, but we could probably move him. He's only in 5th grade. And my wife hates it up in Falcon anyway, because she's an LA girl. She hates the cold. I mean, it's 70 degrees out. She's freezing.
Wow. Austin would be perfect for her.
She hates that she's not around a body of water. And Peyton is pretty ugly, dude. I swear to God. I'm like, do we live in Wyoming? Like, I thought I moved to Colorado. There's no trees. It's windy.
Where is this? Peyton, Colorado?
Yeah, Peyton. Yeah, Colorado Springs and then east.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Yeah, so it's blowing up out there. But, it's one of those things where, I don't mind it, but I do want to. It's a hard... My wife hates it. Yeah, basically. It's one of those things.
Yeah. Not where you want to be forever.
Texas,
type of a That is basically like Nebraska, Wyoming type.
Exactly.
Stuff.
Yeah, look at that. There's not even any green around my...
Yeah, well,
exactly.
I've been saying for a long time since I've been in this podcast that we should take Western Utah by force, because that those people are strong-spirited but weak-willed, and that we should take Western Utah and we can give some of our land to Nebraska and Iowa. That's fine.
And if people want to sit around, once we take it, if they want to sit around and say, hey, Colorado's sitting on stolen land, no. We took it fair and square.
Yeah. I'm getting a vision. I'm manifesting some destiny. That land looks pretty nice. Have you been to Bryce Canyon, Chris? That should be in Colorado, not Utah. Fuck you, Utah. Yeah, I mean, you want to live somewhere that you want to live. It's tough to get through all the hardships of being a person, especially in the context of modern America, if you don't enjoy where you live.
Exactly. Yep. So. No, you're absolutely right. Yeah, she hates the winters, so she wants to move to Florida, but I'm trying to convince her to move to Texas instead, because that way you're not too far from Colorado. I still got my family, friends here. Florida. And then she's never visited Florida in the summer. I heard it's a night. Have you guys ever been to Florida in the summer? I heard it's a nightmare. Yeah. Right. So she doesn't. We visited Florida, but it was in like November.
Yeah.
So she doesn't know.
Really nice.
Yeah. She knows November Florida.
Yeah.
So.
Well, how has the route of comedy been then for you since you've re-entered? I mean, you seem to have a great base of people that are following you on Instagram, but the industry's constantly changing. I'm a young person. I'm trying to learn and have a marathon mindset towards it. But for someone who's done it for a while, but also lived such an interesting life, how do you re-engage, and how's that process been? Oh,
since I got back into comedy, dude. I've almost lucked out. So I was wanting to get back into it. I'd been sober like a month. So I was like, okay, let's go. Let's start doing this. And then I didn't know of any open mics in Colorado Springs because I didn't follow any of the Facebook groups. So the only open mic I found in Colorado was at a marijuana bar in Thornton. It was no alcohol. They only served weed, which was really cool. You go and you order a blunt from the bar. You can order bong rips and shit.
That's fun.
I think it's called like Jake's Mile High or something like that.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that was the only open mic I knew of. So I drive all the way from Colorado Springs to Thornton to do an open mic. I get down there and I get on stage, and I some of my stuff is based around drugs and recovery. And it just so happens one of the comedians in the crowd, his name's Joe Huisman. Yeah, he saw that and he's like, wow, this guy is also working through addiction problems. And so we met after the show. We stayed in touch. And then he said, hey, would you like to do one of my second chance comedy shows? And at the time, I didn't have any drug material. Like I had a little bit, but now it's like you saw my set. I talk 6 straight minutes just on doing cocaine, you know. So he was like, if you want to do one of my second chance shows, you got to have a bit based around recovery and addiction and get vulnerable. Tell people, you know, don't be shy to tell people all the crap you went through. So I started writing about that, and now that's my thing. You know, I wasn't thinking about writing about this when I first started, but thankfully I ran into him. He gave me that idea, and that's kind of like, that's my good material now. So I started doing these second chance shows. And like I said, it's so cool because that was just because I drove to an open mic in Thornton because I didn't know of any other. If I never would have done that, I never would have met him. So that I've gotten lucky where I've just met the right people and I've been able to get in these shows, you know, so.
That's epic, dude.
Yep. And then I submit to the new talent night religiously every Wednesday. So that helps. You get into Comedy Works, you know, you show your face and then I go down to Looney's as much as I can to, you know, hang out and meet all the comedians and do the open mics. He does, Looney's does an open mic like once a month or once every couple months. Always get to those, but always just kind of make your face seen at as many places as you can, you know, so I think that's helped.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
You've got, and the dog content, has that been a big part of like,
dude, it's gotten to the point I want to try to implement comedy into my Instagram page, but everybody, if Dylan's not in the video, they're not watching. So my Rottweiler's name is Dylan.
That's how you got the big because you got like 30-some thousand followers. So
yeah.
Damn, dude, this guy's got
on Facebook I have like 92,000 followers.
Whoa, dude.
Yeah. Well, I think Facebook's a lot of the older audience, so they love the dog content. But yeah, the dog is just so crazy. Like when we first got him, he growled so much. I'm like, is something wrong with this dog? But then I figured out it's called the Roddy Rumble. It's just what Rottweilers do. Because he'll come up and put his chin on my knee and start growling at me because he wants to get pet. But then when he gets really excited, you've seen the videos.
Yes.
I mean, he's growling in my face. So now it has that shock factor where it gets people into the comments and gets the views. And half the people are saying, your dog's the alpha. He's running the house. It's going to return. But they just don't know. They just see the short videos. The other half is like, no, he loves you. You know, this is great. That's just how Rottweilers are. So, you know, then once you get people arguing in the comments, you know, that's a recipe for viral videos and a lot of followers. You get people arguing in the comments.
Aaron, we should be a lot more incendiary on this show. We would have a lot more followers if I had from the start been like, oh, I'm going to be a rabble rouser and post rabble rouser clips. Yeah, that's the formula.
Yep. So you know, I try to do funny videos with him. You know, he is the coolest dog I've ever had in my life. My wife says it's her soulmate. She says this dog is her soulmate. He loves her too. He has to he's like a big cuddly teddy bear. He's a cool dog and people love him.
Dogs are the best, dude. They bring so much of life out of us. Like,
oh yeah.
Maybe it's modern times, but like people are chiseled away, especially young people I look at. They seem so chiseled away. And then you just bring a dog into their life and it's like, oh man, there's this whole thing reinvigorated by just this dog.
Because it's the only thing they're doing is they don't have an agenda. They don't have any, you know, malice in their mind. They're just doing whatever their instinct is. You know, it's almost like having a toddler running around. You know, toddlers, they're just going to say whatever's on their mind. It's like that's why people love dogs and toddlers is because they're just pure spirits. They don't.
Yes.
They're just doing whatever their instincts are. They don't know.
Yes.
So it's nice to have a dog around.
As a newly married man, I think I am already coming around to recognize that very soon I will not carry people who don't have children, who haven't given up part of their life to take care of these dogs or pets or small humans and facilitate their journey of these pure spirits along. Those people's opinions that don't have those in their life aren't going to matter to me very much anymore, because it's like, what are you doing here as on this earth if you're not like trying to in some facet like push along pure souls?
Exactly. Yeah, no, that makes sense, man.
Like fathers, mothers, like I want like those people carry way more weight to me already. I'm not even in the
more skin in the game.
Yeah, because it's like, yeah, dude, what the fuck?
You have something to take care of, and
we're at life's poker table and they're betting. Like,
yeah, well, it was like what Jimmy Carr said. Did you hear his bit when somebody was saying, you know, I don't like it's no big deal if you don't have kids. Like, why did you have kids? Yada yada. And he said, well, you don't have kids, great. You go through your whole life single. You never have kids. It's like you're playing low stakes poker. You know, you're just kind of.
Wow.
You have kids, then you're kind of all in, and then you know you really start. But yeah, he's brilliant.
Yeah, so good. Yeah, that's exactly. I'm ripping off Jimmy Carr. Thank you. Thanks, Aaron. That's it. There's no original ideas anymore.
Where are they all?
They're gone.
I know. I hate when I see a brand new joke and I'm like, damn, and it kills. And you're like, I was kind of thinking of that same premise, but now it's dead because this guy just did it.
For sure. Oh, yeah. Dude. Oh, you're asking original thoughts from ChatGPT? Yeah, right, bro. Yeah, right. Original thoughts.
From a open source app.
What is it recommending? We run comedy clubs like farmers markets.
Yeah.
Dear God. One big venue, book national headliners. Imagine a weekend market style setup in a warehouse or plaza where dozens of local comics each rent a stall. This sounds fucking terrible, ChatGPT. You're talking about like a card convention for comics where they've got a table with their jokes, basically. Like, fuck that, dude.
Charging $5 to hear a joke.
Yeah.
All right, set up a little
these
booth.
Jordan 4s for your bit about white people. I don't know.
We got to get something going up in the Springs. It seems like there's no open mics up there. We got to get something going. There's, in order to get better, you got to do open mics. And I think we had Oscar Blues on Sundays. That's kind of they might do it on Tuesdays now. It's not going on right now.
Right.
But Lulu's on Wednesdays and then Vultures on Mondays. And I think those are the only 2 open mics in Colorado Springs.
Wow.
So we're looking, me and a couple other comedians are looking to
why don't you
look for some venues. Yeah, we're going to look for a Sunday night somewhere. So we just need to. But yeah, like you said, I know Denver. How often do they have open mics? Every night?
Pretty much every night.
Yeah,
it seems like you can get out to something. For me, it's been like I work a day job, normal 40-hour office job type stuff, and then been door guy. So it's like I'm working 60, 70. So it's like I get it where I can. And I've conceded that like, I'm not going to get better as quick because I'm not doing the reps.
Exactly.
And it's like, okay, acknowledging that I'm not going to get the reps and I'm going to, if I compare myself to my peers, feel bad about my progress.
Yeah. So just know that you're not getting, yes, that's good to do.
But I get to be the sound guy at South and I'm a sponge of a brain.
Dude, so you're hearing all kinds of content. That's amazing.
I'm locked into like, holy shit, this person just did a trick or a way to move words around in a facet or interact with a person in a way that, I've never seen it done. Now
it gives you an idea. Not necessarily ripping off it's the same thing when musicians, they're inspired by some song they heard. They're not ripping off the song, but it gave them kind of an idea to do how they're going to do their song.
My grandpa lived to be 96, 97, lived in Quad Cities, Iowa his whole life. Type of dude that he's in the grocery line and making a new best friend with the lady behind him.
Yeah, just a happy guy.
And I come to realize as I'm getting more into comedy in college and whatnot, like this dude had an unlimited Rolodex of just street jokes. Like him and his buddies would send email jokes, like long email jokes for years and years. And it's like, like that kind of a guy. There's a lot of people out there like that, like my grandpa, that like they could have been comics if they wanted to choose that path. And so then I was kind of taking the perspective of, I just have to cultivate being funny. Or like having an eye or a mind for like funny. Mm-hmm. And hopefully that the cosmic luck aligns at some point where I can be funny on stage for the right person or meet the right person. But like as a younger guy, I should probably not think I have control over that.
Right.
And so I'm enjoying being a sponge for as long as I get to be a door guy.
Absolutely.
Sponge.
What was what made you kind of be like, I want to do stand-up comedy? For me, it was watching one of the specials, Eddie Murphy Delirious.
Yes.
Like what did you see where it just drew you to?
So I watched like stand-up a lot with my mom and my stepdad in high school, and like the Bill Burr, those like 3 specials in a row were just all magic.
Right.
And then I was like getting into listening to the podcasts and especially the comics talking about comedy and talking about like generations I didn't know, the 70s, the 80s, these names, these books that I had no clue. And so I'd go and read the book that got mentioned one time on this one podcast.
Yes.
And then learn something else and discover someone new. And then I was in college in Cedar Rapids, Iowa at Coe College and doing the triple major, tons of shit type of thing. And was like, feeling burnout. And there was a comedy club in town, Penguins. And so I knew from all these comedy podcasts that like that's the OG route of like you go clean up the puke and the broken glass and learn and try to be in the room and learn. And that first show, dude, I think I know what the fuck comedy is because I've seen it on the big screen on Netflix all the time. I've watched a lot of this stuff. I know. First show,
blacked out.
Like, I don't know what the fuck this is at all. I thought I understood what stand-up. This is not what I thought. I don't know anything. Back to point of zero of I'm an ignorant little baby. And then you work a couple years there and it's like, oh, I have a feel and understanding of what this is now, a little more confidence. And I would joke in college, I'm like, oh, don't end it all, Sean, because if you don't end it all, maybe you'll get back to Denver and you can be a door guy at Comedy Works. So
Yep.
I even said that in my interview for Comedy Works. But yeah, so it's like, I'm just grateful to be at one of the best spots in the world. And then, maybe down the line when my better half is out of school and whatnot, maybe I can go be a door guy at the mothership.
Oh,
if,
dude.
If everything aligned, that would be, because that's a real.
I think Cam Patterson worked at the mothership.
Yeah, that's a developmental club where the whole point of the door guy specifically is like for comedy.
Right.
And that's not the way it is with all clubs, and Comedy Works is not that. But that doesn't mean that I can't be using it in a growing way, even though it's not a developmental club from a door guy perspective. So, dude,
you surround yourself, like if you're a musician, if you work at a sound studio where you're constantly hearing the greats come in and do, it's just going to better help you. It's a great place to work if you want to be a comedian.
Aaron, I'm sorry, I'm talking too much, but this week was High Plains, and I took off from my door guy job to work for free as a stage manager. I got to see Eddie Pepitone do sets every single night on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And I don't think I've laughed as hard as I laughed last night at his closing set in several years. It took me back to that original type of love for the art form of holy
this
shit,
is a pro.
I'm crying.
When you see a pro in the works, you're just like, man.
And yeah, it's just being around it. It's like, oh, this is cultivating that flame.
Like you said, you're a sponge. So you're going to pull what you need, and that'll all help develop you into the comedian that you'll become one day,
Yeah, dude. He just gets on stage, starts talking about
what's he look
fascism
like?
And...
Can you pull his picture up?
Yeah, Eddie Pepitone.
I only know the oldies,
You're trying to hint that it's
Has he been around a while?
Wings? Yeah, dude. He's like the last of the Rickles era.
Oh, okay.
Really...
How would you even spell it?
ITO, yeah, like that. But yeah, he's quite the man, dude. He's born in 58. But yeah, it's just so cool to see, especially in Colorado. I hate to say it, but we get a lot of the same type of comedy.
Oh well, I'll have to.
And you don't get this New York. I'm gonna bitch at everyone in the world and fuck you as the crowd. Come, fuck you, and here's why.
Exactly. Those East Coasters. That's what kind of put. I know Bill Burr was already pretty big, but what kind of put it up a notch was when he went off on all the Philly fans.
That's right. That meltdown.
He was just like, fuck you guys. You know what? He's like, I got 9 minutes. And he just sat up there for 9 minutes.
Fuck you. I've got 10 more minutes.
Dude, yeah. And then look back down, and that kind of, that
so
leveled him up a little bit. But yeah, it's that East Coast shit.
But yeah, I would love to see this guy come back to Comedy Works.
Yeah, I've never seen his set. I'll have to look him up. Just a killer, huh? Just a pro.
Just
nice.
a OG killer pro type dude.
It would be nice. I mean, but New York and LA, they have those advantages. Well, I know in New York, you can do 9 open mics in one night.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Holy shit, dude.
Yeah, if you're really good at the thing and want to make a career in it, it's kind of where you have to go, it seems like. But
dude, yeah, because you do 9 in one night. You try out some new jokes and try them out again, and before you know it, you got a polished 5 minutes.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Well, folks, we're gonna eat some chicken wings. If you want to hear the eating, guess what? You can join us. You can. It's true. You can support the show, help keep us ad free. We're gonna strap on some little lav microphones. Are we gonna eat in front of the camera again? Oh my! It's a possibility. You better head over to patreon.com/InTALLerable. Support local art. And you want to kick us to break with a station identification? Make something up on the fly here?
A what?
Improv a station identification?
Dude, I'm horrible at improv. I'm horrible.
You're horrible at improv, and we'll be right back. We're back. We're live. It's the After Hours Show. And it's time for a wing review. What do we think of those wings, Aaron?
They were good, man. They were good. Of course, I'm not much of a food connoisseur, so I like, I'm sure they're that it tastes like a lot of other chicken wings I've had. It just tasted like chicken wings, but they were good.
Perfect, bro. If I can meet the bare minimum of these are in fact chicken wings that I'm eating, that's
right, exactly
good enough for me, man.
Yeah, if it was cooked all the way and I won't get salmonella poisoning,
Bingo.
They were good wings.
Money. Well, if you want to hear the eating and want to support the show, all that money that you pour into our Patreon goes back to feed lovely guests like Aaron. Head over to patreon.com/InTALLerable. That's the end of my spieling. I hate the spieling. The spieling and the mealing. Oh, gosh. But we're so thankful for those of you that do help our show along. Someday they're going to look back on a chart of our Patreon and be like, like Matt and Shane's secret podcast, they're like, oh, in these early days, they're only making a couple $1,000, a couple $100 a month. It's like, yeah. Hey, so is this show. Calm down. Get the fuck out of here. You're fired. No. That's how we blow up. We start firing people. No, there's nobody to fire. But it is true, if you have enough money, most things can be gotten around.
Oh, yeah, money. Cash is king. We know that. You heard the saying, you're not ugly, you're just poor.
I've definitely heard that.
You know.
It's true.
Right. And then the Tom Brady. Have you seen the Tom Brady at draft day and then him now? Dude, he looks like such a butt on his draft day. He's just... And now he's just a chiseled out fucking Gucci model. At one point he had 2 supermodels pregnant at the same time. It's like
money's a big thing. Yeah.
Super Bowl wins.
That's crazy. And in this modern landscape, the people are becoming richer than humans have most been for history off of like fake things like cryptocurrencies.
Right.
Or, the pictures of whatever, the NFT era.
Yes.
My God.
Yes. Dude, I hope crypto blows up because I have a lot in crypto.
That would be good.
If that blows up, I will...
You'll finance some
You'll
specials.
see me on the big stage. I'll pay Netflix to... kind of like the thing where you buy followers. Even though I won't have a very good hour, I'll just be like, if I throw enough money at you, Netflix, just release an hour Netflix special. And people will be like, well, he doesn't seem funny, but being as he's on Netflix, he must be pretty goddamn funny.
Yeah, for sure. When did you start getting into crypto? Recently? Or?
2020, 2021. I've been holding on to XRP for a while. I bought XRP when it was like $1.
Damn.
And then it dipped down to 30 cents, and then now it's up to 3. But I got a lot of XRP. So I hope that shit takes off.
Yeah, it seems like with the AI stuff too, that there's some potential for like another blip of demand in the market.
Mm-hmm.
With all this circular value creation, the whole I'm OpenAI, you're Microsoft, and you say you're going to supply me with a certain amount of GPUs, and then my value goes up, and I pay you something, and your value goes up. Strange. Nothing's really happened here, but both of our companies
nothing's happening, but we're making a lot of money.
It's crazy, dude. They used to call that fraud, Chris.
Oh, thank you.
But when you're, if it's the government doing it, it's not fraud. I think it's the kind of...
Dude, the government's batting 1,000.
Yeah. I'm still flabbergasted by people in my generation in their like late 20s, early 30s that believe that the government is the solution. Whether you're on this side or this side. Yes. I just cannot believe that you're like, yeah, the government's the one to fix this.
You're talking about the entity that can't even figure out Social Security? That's about as basic as it gets. Forcibly take my money, fucking put it somewhere, let it gain compound interest, and then give it to me. They can't even do that. I could do that.
Well, and then you read the stats of like, okay, if they would have taken all the money they put into your Social Security and put it in an index fund versus...
Dude, did you see that?
Dude, it's crazy.
And it sucks because Bush suggested that back in like 2004. If they would have done that, holy shit.
Well, it's like most public policy stuff. It sounds great when it's starting, and then the impacts of it are very undersold or misplaced or idealistic. Like Affordable Care Act sounds great that people are going to have access to insurance. The Affordable Care Act is the reason that healthcare is so gosh darn expensive right now.
Right.
That alone, and the market mechanisms that has put on insurance companies, and the profit motive of doctors and representatives and all these connecting
the hospitals
pieces.
Charge, the pharmaceuticals, they overcharge, and then
the administrative state in this country. Big time technical difficulties in the studio. It's just crazy. The ballooning administrative state. This is what I have a problem with, of like people doing fake jobs, because one, it's not meaningful to the people that are in those roles, and it fucks up and muddies the system for advancement and progress. So in healthcare and in education over the last 25 years, the biggest ballooning parts of these industries is people that sit behind a desk and move paper between places or whatever the fuck.
Right. Well, it's like when did you see when they tried to build they were going to build a bathroom in New York, in a park in New York, you know, and they were going to go through the government. It was going to take like 5 years, cost like millions of dollars, because there's so much red tape. There's so many, like you said, people that are involved in it that don't need to be there, when a private business could just come in and that's exactly what it is, dude, you know?
And yes, I do think it's important that we be, you know, looking out for people taking advantage of other people with a profit motive. Like, I don't think you should be able to randomly go out and get some underpaid labor to help your landscaping business make more money, bottom line.
Exactly, yeah.
But that doesn't mean that we should be going around to all the landscaping businesses and making their ability to add value to the marketplace almost impossible. Through, you have to do these things, you have to have these insurance policies, you have to follow these protocols that like just slow down people helping other people get better.
Like, how long is it going to take them to rebuild the Palisades? It's going to say probably never happened, because they have to go through so much shit.
Well, and they are going to do the thing they said they're going to do, which is they're going to build public housing in some, or government pronged. Let's call it government pronged, because in some way the government will have their prongs in this, you know, the interests of these apartment buildings that they're going to build in the Palisades.
Yeah, see how that works out. I mean, the beautiful thing, like in America, each state is basically its own country. So you think whoever has the best policies, that would be a pretty solid state, right? I mean, yeah, the federal government's huge and they have some control over the states, but this, you know, you would think you'd be able to, if you believe your policies work, implement it in your state, and I mean, the results will show if they work or not, depending on, there's, you know.
Yeah, and then you get the whole media. It's like just
dude, the media is like they're like public enemy number one. And the legacy media, like, I don't know how you guys feel, but all they do, they need division, they need chaos.
Yeah, or else they're not going to get ratings.
Like when that George Floyd video came out, the people that run the media, they were probably jumping with joy, because I mean, and during a pandemic, that was like a banner year for media.
Oh yeah,
was 2020. Like, that was their best year, because people are just seeing how many people are dying. I mean, it's just and that's what the media wants. They don't want everybody just getting along.
Dude, Aaron, I moved back from college and I was living with my grandmother, and every day she would wake up, go from her bedroom, turn on the TV, and watch a rolling toll of death numbers every single day. And I'm like, this is why we're not feeling all right about the world.
Dude.
Like,
yeah, dude.
Grandma's outlook isn't too positive. I wonder why, you know? Goodness gracious. It's like we're poisoning ourselves, and we almost know now we're poisoning ourselves. The media
is supposed to be for us, right? Like, let us know what's going on. It's not for us at all.
And the people that are like carving out, trying to make it for you or in whatever way, are just quickly labeled or put in this category of bad in some way that you're not allowed to think that they're credible in what they're saying anymore.
Right. Well, and the good news is no one's watching. Like, no one is watching Fox, CNN, you know, MSNBC, like all these big, especially the younger generation. They're listening to podcasts. And so the good news is they're going to have to figure something out if they want to stay relevant.
Yeah, dude, they're going to get their lunch eaten late night. Adam Freeland, this guy on the wall right here, he's taking their fucking lunch, late night lunch with his show, the Adam Freeland Show.
Do it. Because there's not people telling him what to say, saying what he wants to. That's what you need. You can't have people behind you telling you what you're going to tell the people, and that's what news is. It's fucking...
Yeah, they have meetings before they do the news, and they're like, all right, our messaging, our theme around this topic is X. Like, okay, that's not... I don't know. I mean, I've been among this my whole adult life, you know, Boulder Public Schools, into a small liberal arts school in Iowa, like... You know, and I'm interested in engaging with both of the sides.
Dude, you have to. The worst thing you can be is just in your own echo chamber. I feel bad for, you know, it's like, dude, you gotta watch it all. so you can see where everybody's coming from. So then you can better, like, why are they thinking like this? And like, what's their reasoning? And that's why it's good to have a conversation.
Totally. And like if you do that, what you realize is that the people on both of the sides in their echo chambers that won't step out, they are both like each other more than they aren't. Like, and they won't acknowledge it ever.
It's not, the internet, like we were saying, the internet is not reality. Like, go out to a park or go to that's reality. Like, talk to someone on the street.
Yeah,
and
these
it's
young
not
kids,
as bad as you think it is.
Like, I mean, you've got 5th grader, like, the world he's living, like, it's got to be tough for people when they're just thrust into this being part of the world to separate. This is the world, and then there's this other thing called the internet. This is not the world.
This is not the world. Just remember that, yes.
Yeah, because I think young people, it's so easy as you're finding your footing and your perspective to be like, oh, my meaning is all tied up in this internet thing.
Yep.
And it's not.
Dude, your life can be turned upside down with one bad video. Like, thank God when I was back in my heyday, getting into all kinds of shit, that somebody couldn't have videoed me doing something and then put it out there and just, ruined. God knows, you've done so much dumb shit. So, yeah, kids got to kind of be careful because anything can be videoed. And
what's that like being a dad, like in navigating that kind of process?
Yeah, I talk to my kids a lot. Like, well, and I don't shelter them. Like, I tell them how many times I've been to jail, how bad it is. You're in a cell and you got some guy taking a shit 2 feet to your left. That's not where you want to be. So like, for an example, my 16-year-old, him and like 5 of his wrestling buddies went to 7-Eleven and all the kids stole something. One kid stole some alcohol, another kid stole condoms, another kid stole like an energy drink. My kid, they all got busted on camera, cops. My kid was the only one that didn't steal anything because, I don't know. One, he's just got a good soul. He's a good kid. 2, I talked to him about, like, when you go out, think before, like, why steal an energy drink? What's the point? It's $2. Yes, I just talked to him about, I don't lie about my past to him or anything. Just
like you're using the maybe bad examples that
I've done. Yeah. Dude, I tell my kids, if you can go your whole life without drinking, that'd be a plus if you can do it, because you'll always be on point. You won't, get into, it's just live life through a sober eyes, and you'll be that much more ahead. So I it'll be hard for them to do it. It's almost impossible for anybody to do it. But
yeah, my wife has never drank, and it's like, that seems,
dude,
like
that's amazing.
So hard to get through life like that. Like, but if you never do it, it's so much easier. You talk to them and they're like, it's not hard at all.
Right, exactly. Well, and everybody thinks you have a problem, right? Like, if I'm sure your wife, they're like, you want to drink? Oh no, I don't drink. Oh, did you?
It's like, no.
were you in rehab or something?
Yeah, and she's like, no, not at all.
Right.
Yeah, maybe for this next generation, an even tougher one will be the kids. I'd never been on social media.
Right.
I'd never done so. I
got my first cell phone when I was like 25.
Like, what a tough achievement that's going to be. Like, I was born in 2025 and I'm 25. It's 2050. I've never had a social media account.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not social media, but like technology.
Yeah, just to get a job.
Let me push back on my producer. He just said that's impossible. Chris, there was 2 public assassins this week, within the last month. 2 people killed other people that have no digital footprint. So explain that to me.
Well, wiped.
Digital footprint as in like social media that they
post. No digital footprint.
You talking about the kid that shot Trump? Yeah. We still don't even know what happened. It's going to be like a Kennedy thing.
Well, shit, dude. We still don't even know what happened when Trump actually got shot at.
No, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like, how did he even get 3 shots? Like, that's the only assassination attempt where the crowd was like, hey, there's a guy with a gun. Hey, does anybody see this? And then they're like, oh, yeah, the roof was too... It's like they gave you some bullshit. And it'll be like the Kennedy thing. Like, we don't even know. And then, like you said, he had no digital footprint. His apartment was wiped.
My favorite thing is the lack of silverware. And the funniest parts to me, because I'm always just looking for the funny. I'm not going to find... Right. We're not going to get down to the bottom of anything here. We're just looking for the funny. No silverware. None of these people ever have silverware, which is like...
He just ordered DoorDash with plastic utensils, dude. And then he didn't like doing dishes. Yeah, dude.
The other thing is like, CNN didn't cover any of Trump's rallies live, the entire cycle of election, but they were at Butler.
Dude. And you know what? And no one even... And the crazy thing is no one cares that we don't have answers.
Yeah, that's
like, it's just in the past now. And
what about the Vegas thing?
Dude.
What about the Vegas thing, bro?
The pandemic, that was in the past, all that. It's all in the past. We're looking forward, okay? We're looking forward. It's wild, dude. It's
Yeah, I agree with you. That is the funniest part about it, is that nobody seems to be.
Yeah. The first thing people want to jump to is, was the shooter a Democrat or Republican? Like when Kennedy got shot, like were people arguing in the streets of what the fuck the political affiliation was of the...
Yeah, dude. I mean, I've seen some stuff off the this week.
It's just too tribal, you know. It's like a football, your football team. It does, the right. It's just tribal. It doesn't matter.
Well,
like, I am on this side. I don't give a fuck.
Saw what I would consider a crash out set of like someone talking about. It's there's Eddie Pepitone funny talking about fascism and we're all going to be burning together in 10 minutes, and then there's like I'm crashing out about the fact that Trump's in power and he's taking away free speech. And I was thinking during watching the set of someone crashing out of like, oh, this is just as silly as if it was the other side. And I'm just envisioning the complete polar opposite.
Dude,
of
if you
doing
could
the same
put yourself in the other shoes and just like, that's the best thing you can do instead of being such tunnel vision to one ideology, and just kind of keep your mind open. That's
well, because I was checking, I was like, is this a crash out, or am I like perceiving this wrong? And then I thought, all right, well, what would the other side of this be if it was being delivered? And it's like, oh yeah, no, this is a crash out. Like you're in your echo chamber and insulated to the point of like angering yourself with the insulation.
Yes. Yes,
and I don't know. I think it's important that we try to get people out of those, but I don't know how.
Almost impossible, yeah.
I don't know how.
Yeah. We'll find a way, dude. Like I said, the human race, we've been through a lot.
Yes, I love that. I love that take.
Very resilient, resilient.
Instead of being an alarmist in early 1800s saying the poop of New York City, the horse poop's going to overflow the streets.
Dude,
how are we going to do? It's like, we're going to figure it out.
Yeah. Dude, like the fact that you're here is a miracle with what your ancestors went through.
Oh,
totally. Like it's a miracle that you're even here.
As far as I'm concerned, Aaron, the fact that I hadn't taken myself out by now I am riding playing with the bank's money at this point. Yeah, and so once I got over that hill of like, oh, I'm on the bank's time now. I should have. Surprising, I hadn't offed myself by now. Holy shit, it's a free ride. I don't have to conform to what I think I have to be in this perfect box or whatever. Like, no, I should talk to people and do what I want to do with this weird cosmic life I get.
Dude, you get one life. Yeah. Absolutely.
It's going to be gone so quick.
Yep.
Be forgotten.
Yeah, you're doing it right. I mean, like you said, you're working 70 hours a week, podcast, keep yourself busy, because before you know it, you're going to be too old to do anything. So you might as well just...
Shit, bro, I feel that coming on at 28. How do I avoid that?
Yeah, I'm 43.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'll talk about starting stand-up late, too. I started when I was 41, so late start. Right. But with that, I've had a lot of life experiences that help. Yes. As opposed to a 21-year-old. Like, remember Eddie Murphy in the best stand-up special ever, Delirious? He talks about when he was younger, he needed to write content, but the only really thing he'd done in his life was take a shit. So he's like, he wrote a bit about taking a shit. But if you've had more.
Got stuff to draw from.
Right, yeah. You got a lot to draw from when you're 43 and done all the shit, what I've done.
So what are you at 43? What are your goals for like... Oh, to now to 50.
Yeah, dude, have I'd like to start a podcast too.
I think you'd be a natural at it.
And then, just do podcasts and stand up and comedy skits. Those are great. Film and comedy skits. Just do all that. Do the stuff, my passion for a living.
Yes.
Right.
And the path to monetizing that passion is just crawling through the mud.
Yeah, exactly. Because so many people are doing it. There's so much talent out there. Back in there weren't that many stand-up comedians back in the day when there wasn't the internet. It was just, but now it's like a lot of talent. Anybody,
That's also true though of like the market's grown a bunch too. So that's, as the market's grown and there's more talent to grow from, like there is in theory, unless there's consolidation, like there always is in almost every market, the more to go around, so to say. Mm-hmm. But yeah, man. Well, I'm excited to see where it takes you. You've been nothing but kind to me to come on the show, and I enjoy every time I get to see you perform. Hope I get to see you more at South.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, South. I mean, I know they don't do open mics there, or anything. Maybe a show. I did the interrogations, true crime stories with Corey David at Comedy Works. So yeah, that'd be nice. I think I did a pretty good job. Maybe he'll ask me back on that one, and it'd be
cool to get some more like local showcase type stuff happening at South.
Yeah, I've never been to a Thick Skin. Are those?
Yeah, the Thick Skin's
I'd like
great.
To go to one of those. Cool.
You would do great at that.
Hell yeah.
at those shows for sure. You'd fit right in.
Yeah, when winter comes up, landscaping slows down, so I'll be doing the comedy quite a bit more during winter.
I was going to ask, do you switch to Christmas lights or what?
Well, I've been able to make enough money during the summer I can float myself through winter. But I mean, you try to get into snow plowing. Sometimes during the winter, you might get a fence job or something to kind of help you out through. But that's when I really start hammering down on the comedy, is during the winter.
Yeah. Well, that's the busier time for that anyway. So it's kind of cool. Works well, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Hell yeah. Well, I love that, dude. Well, where can the people check you out and find you?
Yeah, my Instagram is just Aaron_Fleck. I mean, if you just type in Aaron Fleck, I'll come up on Instagram. That's my Instagram and my Facebook.
Fuck yeah, dude. Have you heard of this country called England before?
I have.
They've got this silly little thing they do over there called knighting.
Okay.
Have you heard of this?
Yes, I have.
Elton John and whatnot. Well, here at Top Shelf Studios, after a long form conversation, I am doing the heighting. All my life, people have been like, "Hey, can I get a couple inches? How's the weather up there?" and shit like this.
Yeah.
Because of this tall frame that I operate under. And
how tall are you? Like 6'6"?
I'm like 6'9" if I stand up all the way straight.
Damn, dude.
Too tall to live is usually what I say. I've got this prefrontal lobe now, and I realize now I've got the prefrontal lobe. I'm like, I am in a meat suit. I'm waking up in a vehicle every day, right? And I look out in the world, and I'm like, we're all judging each other on these meat suits almost more than anything. The color, the size, the shape of our meat suits is like very silly to me. So after a long form conversation, I'm pleased to give you a heart height. How tall do you stand physically?
6 foot.
Aaron Fleck. I heart height thee 7 foot. He's a big hearted man, dude. He's got to be a part of the 7-footer club.
Hell yeah, thank you.
But you might require procedure on that at some point. So it's a large heart you're carrying around. But please keep that optimistic heart in the world for us. It's been an absolute joy to get to know you a little better.
Yeah, you too, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on. This was a blast.
Follow him, support him, and go out there and hug someone in the world, would you? Like and subscribe, do all that housekeeping stuff. And most importantly, fuck off and be well.